Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of the Girly Nerd podcast. On today's episode, I am joined by my good friend Katie. She is the creator of Nerdy Girly Notes, and she also has an Instagram with her sister Amy called the Diz Sisters, which is really fun and really cute. You guys are going around Disney World, sharing all your tips and your fun stuff. Katie and I have known each other for quite a few years now. We met because of our mutual love and writing on Once Upon a Time. But I'm so happy you are my guest today. We are going to be counting down our favorite Sandra Bullock movies. Before we get into that, I just want to have a little blast from the past. Do you remember exactly how we first met? I think it might have been something like I might have reblogged something of yours or vice versa or something.
Yeah, I feel like it had to have been because I remember reading your stuff so early on. So I feel like it must have been one of us just kind of shared the others, and we had so many, thoughts and feelings in common. I feel like it just sort of sprang from there.
And it became this sort of wonderful writers, creativity thing with you and me and Meredith and Kisani and other people. And it was such a nice collaborative community. There was no competition, or it was just a general support system, which I loved. And even though we go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, me too. I loved that because you don't always necessarily find that, especially in the more entertainment writing industry. So being able to just have that community that we had was such a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and even though the show's been gone for a long time, but we still talk and we still gab, and not as much lately, but I adore you, and I am so happy you're my guest for this topic. So Sandra Bullock has always been one of my favorite actresses since the early 90s. Is she one of your favorites?
Oh, definitely. I feel like she's one of the first actresses that I remember being a favorite actress, knowing that I knew enough of her stuff to know that I love her. And that's sort of continued. I feel like it's still one of those things where if I see that she's in a movie, I'm gonna want to go see it, even if I don't necessarily know everything about it. She is just, to me, she is one of those quintessential movie stars that will get me to watch pretty much anything that she is in.
Yeah, she's got a great filmography. I mean, I haven't seen everything she's in, but she makes really good choices. And I mean, people probably don't, they kind of underestimate her range. And, she does all types of movies. She does, romantic comedies, straight comedies, dramas, thrillers, every kind of genre. And she's good in all of them. And so I wrote down, she's been nominated twice for Oscars for lead actress. She won once for The Blind Side. Her other nomination was for Gravity. I know some people, in hindsight, they're like, maybe she should won for the wrong movie. Maybe they're like, maybe that should have been flipped. I don't know. I don't have that much of an opinion. I think she's great in both of them. So I'm happy she has an Oscar. I really like that movie. And she just seems, every time I see her interviewed, she just seems like a funny, down-to-earth, sweet person, and kind of this dry sense of humor, which I appreciate. So as far as our honorable mentions, so we had two in common. I mentioned this before we started. We have two in common. So I want to start with the ones that are different. So you had In Love and War.
Yes. That is an early favorite Sandra Bullock movie for me. It came out in 1996. It is sort of a fictionalized account of young Ernest Hemingway's affair with a nurse when he was in Italy during World War I. Chris O'Donnell, the always charming, plays young Ernest Hemingway, and Sandra Bullock plays the nurse named Agnes von Kurowski. And I bought it on a whim back at like Media Play when I was 13 or 14, because I was in that phase of life when you get very into things, and wartime romances were very much like my thing back then. I loved it. And I feel like it is a very underrated wartime romance movie. And we don't often get to see, and like you were saying about Sandra Bullock's range, straight romances are not often things that we see her in. It's more romantic comedies, or there's the occasional one, but this is a straight romance, and it's also a period piece, which is something we don't often see from her too. And she so seamlessly melded into that time period, which is, I think, impressive, because most of the time she plays these modern women and, you know, in modern settings. And it was such a sort of sweeping, very World War One story. And I remember being a teenager and all those like teenage girl big feelings of like the bittersweet romance and all of that, and absolutely loving it. So if people are looking for a sort of lesser known Sandra Bullock film, I feel like that's one that, while it is obviously not in my top 5, it is one that I feel like shows a different side of her acting ability. And she had great chemistry with Chris O'Donnell. I mean, as we will probably discuss throughout this, she has great chemistry with pretty much anyone she shares the screen with. It's just such a really lovely movie, as someone who loves good period pieces.
So this is one I haven't seen. I know I've heard of it. I've always wanted to see it. And it's, every time I look for it, it's never streaming. So
I know. It's crazy.
So I was gonna try to watch it, but then I'm like, oh, it's not streaming anywhere. So I'm like, oh well.
It's just my tiny little DVD copy, not even like a fancy DVD case. It was one of those with just like the cardboard cases. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I don't even think they make those anymore. I think they're all the snap case. So it's one, if I ever catch it somewhere, I will check it out, because I love straight romances. I love period movies. And I don't think, I'm like, have I seen her in a period movie?
I was racking my brain to think of if I had seen her in another period movie, and I really don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah. She doesn't make them, but I've seen like, I think I saw that in the trailer and stuff, and she looked beautiful. Yeah. Like,
really did.
And I have always liked Chris O'Donnell. He's got this sort of sweet charm about him. And yeah. So my honorable mention that was different is Speed. Big movie. Like, I feel like this is sort of the movie that put her on the map. I mean, she'd done a few things, but this was like the big deal. I mean, Keanu Reeves too. I mean, I feel like Keanu Reeves was probably already somewhat of a star, but this like made him like a mega star. And same for her. And it's one of my favorite 90s thrillers, just favorite thrillers in general. I feel like it works because it has everything a movie like this should have. So it has kind of like this, extreme dilemma. There's a bomb on the bus, and and it can't drop down. I don't remember the miles per hour, can't drop below, but can't drop below. So, and then there's like this ticking time bomb, because it's like there's only so much freeway, and then you care about all the characters, even like the secondary characters. You get to know a few of them, but I think it really works, and it's really elevated beyond just like this mere thriller because of Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock and their chemistry. They are so good together. That's just this back and forth. You can understand why they would like bond so quickly in it, that trauma bonding sort of thing, the situation. And it's always been, it's one I don't own, but I'm like, why don't I own Speed? I'm like, this is a great movie. What's the other thing I wrote down here? It's like, the two of them, it's a, you know, it's like a spectacle kind of movie, but the two of them like make it something more. So that's what I think. Do you like Speed?
I do. I do. It was tough to leave it off my list. And if I would
Yeah.
have included another one, I would have thrown it in there because it is like you said, it's their chemistry and their performances are what make it more than sort of just a cookie cutter action thriller film. Um, it is kind of that peak 90s action thriller vibe. And I
Mhm.
feel like they help make it that way.
Yeah. And I am such a sucker for movies like this,
Mhm.
especially the 90s ones. I mean, that was just like the cream of the crop of
Mhm.
that kind of thriller, and, yeah, I love them. And
Mhm.
a shout out to the other people in the movie, Dennis Hopper is thoroughly creepy, and,
Mhm.
Jeff Daniels, you know, RIP to sorry, spoiler alert to people watching. When that happened, I'm like, "No!"
I know.
I was so upset.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, Speed's a great movie. Um, so the other 2 movies on our honorable mentions, we have the same ones.
Mhm.
So the first one is, 2 Weeks Notice from 2002. That's one of her really cute rom-coms.
Mhm.
It's her and Hugh Grant, and I love the 2 of them together.
Mhm.
Like you said, she's got great chemistry with everybody. I really love their back and forth.
Yeah.
And I think what I like about it is that they are so unfiltered with each other,
Mhm.
completely themselves. Like there's no mask, there's no facade. They know who each other are,
Mm.
and like the good and the bad.
Mhm. I totally agree. That is probably one of my favorite things about it too. There's no like hidden pieces of their personality
Yeah.
that they, you know, discover that leads to the miscommunication. Like they
Mhm.
know who the other person is. And it is also that movie has a fantastic soundtrack. It is
Yes,
such a good like I think about the songs that are in that movie and I'm like, wow, that was that the first movie that I ever heard Nora Jones in? That might have been.
possibly. Yeah, and then she's
Yeah.
in the movie too,
Yes.
which is cool.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Um,
their banter is just A plus. You have two actors who are so good at that kind of
mhm.
fast-paced banter, like being opposite each other. So great.
Yeah, and what I like is they make each other grow in different
Mhm.
ways. Like, she opens up more, he becomes, like, a better person. He doesn't, like, change, but he
Mhm.
does in a, like in the important ways, and it's like because they are so completely opposite,
Mhm.
polar opposites, but, you know, sometimes that works for people, and
Yeah.
yeah, I love the banter. It has a great script, and
Mhm.
I love her parents.
Oh, my gosh.
They
So
are
great.
great. They are
Mhm.
so great. It's like they especially the dad, it's like, "We taught you all these principles,"
Mhm.
and he's more easygoing than the mother.
Yes. Mhm.
Uh, is it Robert Klein? Is that his name? I think so, and Dana Ivy is her mother. I
Mhm.
love when they first meet him, and the dad's really nice, and the mom just stares at him
Yep.
like, "I don't like you."
Look him down. No.
Uh, and I love now see, you live in New York, right?
Mhm.
So, I've never been.
Mm.
I've always wanted to go.
Yeah.
I love movies that make New York look really beautiful,
Mhm.
and this is one of them, I think.
Yes. I mean, technically, I'm like 8 hours away because I'm on the other side of the state, but
Sure.
I have been to New York City multiple times, and I feel like it was movies like this that made me so excited to go. Because the first time I went, I was
Mhm.
17,
Oh,
and
okay.
visiting and being sort of like, "Oh, wow, this is the setting for so many of my favorite romantic
Mhm.
comedies," and it when you go, it really does feel that magical. Like there are
Wow.
times when it just feels like you are in one of those movies.
Mhm.
And it is definitely one of those feelings that this movie gives me where it's like, oh, it is very nostalgic for like those trips to New
Mhm.
York City that felt magical.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a sweet movie. If any people watching haven't seen it, check out 2 Weeks Notice. I feel like it's one of the more underrated ones.
Oh
Like
yeah.
less people mention it for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. I feel like on the list of sort of the both Hugh Grant and Sandra Bullock rom-coms, that one
Mhm.
doesn't get brought up as much. So I'm glad
Mhm.
that we got to talk about it. So go watch it.
Yeah. And then the other one that we have in common is The Blind Side.
Hmm.
So, what is it about that movie that you really like?
I love when you can feel that an actor has fully committed to the part that they're playing. And that
Mm.
is what I feel every time I watch her in that movie is I'm going like there was no holding back. She was like this is the part and I am going to dive fully into
Yeah.
it. I am not going to, sort of still have the typical Sandra Bullock feel to it. Like it is, she really becomes Leanne Tui. It is one of those kind of really transformative performances without the sort of prosthetics that a lot of
Mhm.
best actress winners have been known for wearing. And another one of my favorite parts of that movie is the relationship that she and her husband have. I love
Mhm.
the sort of dynamic between her character and Tim McGraw's character. I think it is so lived in and sweet and that really respectful kind of marriage where both parties really take the other person seriously.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, obviously, I know that it's not the main relationship in the movie, but it is sort of that like solid backbone of the movie. And
Mhm.
I remember the first time I saw it and I just thought, wow, this is a really nice portrayal of a supportive, good marriage.
For sure, yeah.
Mhm.
There's never like anytime there's conflict, it's like they resolve it like mature
Mhm.
adults
Yes.
and no fighting and
Mhm.
yeah, it's like you could see this is like a true like partnership between the
Mhm.
two. Um, what I like about The Blind Side is I love movies about like family and then like found family,
Mhm.
heartfelt, inspiring kind of films. I'm just a sucker for those. And I know now there's like controversy with the
Mhm.
movie that the truth is not maybe what is portrayed on
Mhm.
screen. Who knows what the actual truth is, you know?
Mhm.
But I think you just have to take it for what it is, like the separate, the inspiration from the film. Just
Mhm.
look at the film for what it is. And when you do that, you just it just tugs at your heart.
Yep.
Um, I love the relationship between Leanne and Michael. It's
Mhm.
it's so sweet. That moment when she finds him, walking alone at night, and it's like she's like, "Don't you lie to me," and I'm like,
Mhm.
that's a good mom. And
Exactly.
when um he gets in the car accident
Mhm.
and he calls her on the phone and calls her mama for the first time, I'm like, I lost it
Yep.
in
Yep.
the movie theater. I'm like, oh my god. Uh, and then the other part at the very end when they're saying goodbye, and she has to
Mhm.
get in the car because she doesn't want to cry, and he's
Mhm.
just like, why does she do that? It's like
Yep.
that's just her, and
Oh.
it's like it's okay.
Mhm.
You can cry, because you
Mhm.
love him, and oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful film, and I'm so glad she won Best Actress because it's true. She did. She committed to it. I don't, even though she doesn't look that different, I don't feel like I'm watching her.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't. I'm not thinking about other movies when I'm watching it.
Mhm.
Definitely, yeah, she's great in that movie. So was there anything else? No, that's it. Okay. So what is your number five?
My number five, I will pull out my notes for this. My number five is Ocean's 8. Uh,
Okay.
I have such a deep love of this movie because I think when it came out, I feel like my expectations for it were very high because I like all of the other Ocean's movies. But this was the Ocean's movies with a full cast of women. So I was like, please be good. I want this to be so good. And it was, which was kind of fantastic that something actually lived up to what I felt like the expectations were for it. And to me, especially in terms of Sandra Bullock's like recent movies, this to me is Sandra Bullock in full movie star mode. Like they needed someone who could have that charisma of George Clooney in this particular movie. And she, to me, is the perfect person to do that. And I feel like in a lot of ways, we often see her playing these characters who are maybe not as smooth or maybe a little bit more awkward or shy or not wanting to be the, you know, glamorous center of attention. But watching her sort of own that spotlight as that character in this movie and just be completely competent and great at what she does and really cool is fun to watch. She is a very cool character and in a very cool movie is one of the ways I would describe that movie. Like every time it's on, I'm just like, wow, this movie, like all of the Ocean's movies, just feels cool. All the people in it are cool. It has a very definitive style. And one of my other favorite things about it is something that we've kind of already touched on with Sandra Bullock is that she has such great chemistry with everyone that she shares scenes with. And in this movie, with each of the other women that she's sharing scenes with, she has such a different dynamic, but such a good dynamic. Each one is unique. I love the relationship that her character and Cate Blanchett's character have together because it's these two women who are very confident and very strong, but not in a competitive way, not in a, you know, pitting two women against each other kind of way, in a way that is sort of supportive and yin to the yang kind of relationship. And it feels very lived in and very like this dynamic has existed for a long time before we got to see it in the movie, which is one of my favorite relationship dynamics where I feel like where you feel like you're walking into something that has existed, that there is a shared history and a shared past. And it is one of those movies where if it is on TV and I am channel surfing, I will stop and I will watch it every single time at whatever point in the movie it is at, because it is just a fun ride. And I feel like it is such a different kind of movie for her. It's a heist movie. It's, you know, a very sort of individual character focused. And I absolutely love it. It is one of my favorites of that genre. It is one of my favorites that she is in, obviously. So yeah, I love Ocean's 8.
So I've only seen Ocean's 8 once. I wish I'd seen it more than once, but I loved it. I love all the Ocean's movies. I love a good heist movie. I love ensemble movies. I too was like, oh, I hope this is good because it's all the ladies. And it was. I love her and Cate Blanchett scenes together. That's what I really remember. That's the dynamic between them. And and just how she is a lot like because she plays George Clooney's sister. You could see lots of similarities between them. The cool, collected, very confident. And she does it so well. And I think that's very different for her. So I loved it. I wish I could say more, but I only saw one time.
Hey, that makes perfect sense. And there will be there's one on your list that I have not seen at all. So which I'm excited about.
But if people haven't seen Ocean's 8, they should go see, especially if you like the other Ocean's movies. It's so different, except it's all ladies.
Mhm.
That's really the only difference.
Yeah.
It's sleek, it's cool.
Mhm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, they do the side-by-side camera in this one too,
Yes.
right? Where you show
Mhm.
different I love that.
Yeah.
I
So
love that in
cool.
heist movies.
Mhm.
That's just
So
so
fun
fun.
where you're watching all of it sort of come into
Yeah.
being. Oh, so great.
It gives the movie such movement, and it makes
Mhm.
it feel alive, and it gives it energy, and
Yep.
so it never feels slow ever.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
so my number 5 is The Net
Mhm.
from 1995. Another one, love a good 90s thriller. And I like this one, it edged out Speed just a little bit. And I think because I mean it rests on her shoulders. I mean, when I was thinking about it, I'm like, is she in every scene? She's not, but almost she is in almost every single scene of this movie and pulls it off so well. I mean, it's a worst case scenario sort of situation where she's in another country and she wakes up after a horrible accident and has her identity stolen, and then by these evil people who are trying to kill her. I mean, this is like a worst case scenario. And as she's trying to, figure everything out, I love all the mystery of it, and then the action. Jeremy Northam, great villain, because I was only used to him as Mr. Knightley and Emma, which is the polar opposite of this movie. Uh, and I also loved, it was really surprising. I loved her dynamic with Dennis Miller, who was not known for acting at all. And I'm like, he's good in this movie, and they have there's a sweetness, and you could feel the history between those two characters. And spoiler alert, when what happens to his character broke me. I'm like, no, this is terrible. It's so upsetting. Um, but I love a very satisfying ending to this movie when everything is resolved. But so the thing is that people will criticize this movie and call it very dated because it shows the early days of like computers and internet, and compared to now, it looks so simple, and you're like, this is ridiculous, is this what we had to do? But I'm like, that's such a lame criticism because all technology becomes dated, all of it. I mean, like in 5 years sometimes. It's just like it's just a time capsule for this era of the early internet, and I'm like, that's not a critique. If you want to critique it for other things, that you don't like, fine. But if that's your only like gripe with the film, I just think that's dumb. It's like, are we gonna watch critique movies that don't have people with cell phones? I mean, it's silly. But yeah, I love this. I love this movie. Very exciting and thrilling. And it also does this thing that thrillers do really well, where they can make something that's normally very sweet and innocent creepy and scary. And it's like that with the carnival and the carousel, and they make it really ominous and stuff. And movies like that always do that really well.
Mhm.
So you've seen this movie?
I have not. This is the one that I
This
have
is the
not seen
one.
on your
Okay.
list, and now I'm like, I need to see this movie.
Oh, I spoiled what happened to Dennis Miller.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm always
Okay.
someone who, if things are spoiled, I'm more excited to see how it plays out than like what
Yeah.
actually happens. So
It's really good. I mean,
yeah, I
um,
I need to give it a watch.
yeah, it's one I think I saw close to when I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it close to when it
Mhm.
came out, and I loved it. But very, very recently, I finally own it. I finally got the
Oh, great.
DVD. Yeah. So for anyone who is trying to either just continue their physical media
Mhm.
library or restart it, because I know people have like, I got rid of all my DVDs. Now I'm trying to get them back.
Mm.
Look on eBay.
I have heard that.
I bought this one on eBay, brand new, perfect condition, good price. So if you are looking to do that, look on eBay. I mean, Amazon's a good place, but if you can't, lots of times you can't find stuff on there. And
Yeah.
so go on eBay for sure. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, yeah. Satisfying ending. Yeah. That's it. Okay. So what is your number 4?
My number 4 is The Heat. One of my favorite buddy comedies, buddy cop comedies of all time. Sandra Bullock, Melissa McCarthy, just absolute dynamite together. Whoever had the idea of putting those two women together, amazing, because Sandra Bullock plays the perfect kind of straight woman to Melissa McCarthy's more ridiculous physical comedy antics. And one of the things that I love about this movie, and that I feel like I love about Sandra Bullock's career in general, is that yes, she's done really amazing romance movies and rom-coms, but a lot of her body of work are movies that are about relationships between women and women working together and women learning from each other and coming together and supporting each other. And I feel like this is such a good example of that piece of her filmography, because it's one of those movies that's about found family and chosen sisterhood and sort of watching that develop as a through line while really genuinely funny comedy is happening is really nice, because it's that balance of, I mean, I love a good, silly, stupid comedy as much as the next person, but having that sort of emotional base to it too is a really winning combination to me. I remember when I watched this with my dad for the first time, he laughed so hard that I was like, "Are you breathing?" He still talks about scenes from this movie as being some of his favorites in terms of comedies. It is something my sister and I quote this movie all the time. I absolutely love it. And like I said, while I really love the comedic aspects of it, I love also that Sandra Bullock's character sort of brings in that vulnerability, brings in that feeling that she's never had those good relationships or friendships or family connections. And I mean, she is borrowing her neighbor's cat to, have a companion for a while.
That's right. Oh my God, I forgot that.
Yep. And then there's the part at the end where Melissa McCarthy brings her the cat and they figure out that it's not actually her cat, and it's fantastic. But it is a character archetype that I feel like Sandra Bullock plays often, which is that character who is a little bit of a loner or doesn't quite have that support system around her and discovers it and becomes part of a found family. And this is, I think, one that if people didn't go see it or haven't seen The Heat, they might not realize that that's part of the story. They might just think like, oh, funny movie with, these two characters. But it's also about these two people learning from each other and balancing each other out and becoming sort of chosen sisters through it, which I think is a really great combination when you've got that really funny comedy, but you've also got sort of the occasional feelings aspect to it too.
So this is another one I've only seen once, unfortunately, but it was more recently and I loved it. I went in with the kind of low expectations. I don't know how this is going to be. And I was so pleasantly surprised. I'm like, this movie's hilarious for one thing. And then, like you said, then it has all this sweetness to it that I wasn't expecting. That scene in the scenes in the bar.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard. I feel like I stopped it I think I paused it because I was laughing
Yep.
too hard.
You're like, no, I have to wait a second, collect
Yeah.
myself. I totally get that. I remember being in the theater and the part where like she has to try to weave her way in is just, oh, it's so good. It's so funny.
And I love that you are talking about watching it with your dad because yeah, the first
Mhm.
time I watched it with my mom and dad, and uh my dad has a great laugh, and when he gets laughing, so he was like the exact same way. He was cracking up, which I
Mhm.
just love to see.
Yep.
Um it was, yeah, it was sweet, way sweeter than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
I feel like Melissa McCarthy's movies are a little bit hit or miss.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're a little bit too broad for
Mhm.
my taste. I liked Spy. I thought that one was good.
Mhm. Yes.
But this one, I feel like of the ones I've seen, I feel like it's the best one of those
Mhm.
like really silly comedies
Mhm.
because of Sandra Bullock, because of the dynamic between them and the back and forth. And I remember the ending was was really sweet too and funny.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, and it's just like, oh, this movie's really good.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, this was another one. I need to see it again because I only remember
Mhm.
little bits and pieces. I feel like you need to see a movie twice to really remember it.
Yes. I
I've
totally.
been so busy with my Christmas movies, I haven't had time
Mhm.
to rewatch things. So I apologize for that, but I remember it well enough, and you explained it really
Yeah.
well. So
Thank you.
anyone who hasn't seen this movie, yeah, should go see the Heat.
Mhm.
Should watch the
Yeah.
Heat. Yeah. So my number 4 is Hope Floats
So good.
from 1998. So I love this movie. I think it's very
Mhm.
underrated. Lots of times people like make jokes about this movie. I really don't understand why. Uh, but I feel like, see, part of the issue is I think people they do it with lots of movies. This movie in particular, I feel like people miscategorize it. They go, call it a rom com. I'm like, nah, no. There are funny moments in it, definitely romantic moments in it, but this movie is a drama. I wouldn't even call it a straight romance because I feel like the romance is somewhat secondary to other stories in the film. I think it's just a drama with moments of romance, with moments of comedy. So, but I remember the trailers, and I feel like they were marketing it as a rom com. So when that's the case, people will go in with a certain expectation. And then when it's not that, they get like disappointed. So it's not the film's fault. It's almost like the marketing and the production team. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, but then just take the movie for what it is because it is wonderful. It's excellent. Sandra Bullock is so beautiful and lovely in this movie. Fun fact about it is it was the first movie she did under her production company, and she
Oh,
agreed to make Speed 2 so she could get this movie made. She goes, I want to make this movie so much. So she's like, fine, I'll do Speed 2, you know. Just it's like it's almost like they were holding her ransom, her film ransom, basically. Um, I love that I bet you people don't realize that this movie is directed by Forrest Whitaker, the
I did
actor.
not know that. I feel
Yeah,
like I should have known that. I've seen this movie, but
and I'm like, cool. I'm like, he's a
yeah.
really good director.
Oh.
And it's such I just love this movie. I love for one thing, I love the cast. Besides Sandra Bullock, she's wonderful. I love Jenna Rollins. She's great in this movie. Love Mae Whitman, who plays her daughter.
Mhm.
What a talented child she was. I mean, she's still a great actress, but as a little girl, oh my God, she's phenomenal, especially in this movie. Um, and then this is the movie that started my intense, massive crush of Harry Connick Jr., which I still have today. I so this is like the first thing I ever saw him in. I had CDs of him, like his Christmas album and the When Harry Met Sally soundtrack. I'm pretty sure we listened to, but I never like seen him in anything. And this one, I'm like, oh, I was just totally in love with him, and I still am. He's such a great actor, and he doesn't make enough movies. And he has this natural charisma and charm, especially in this film. Great chemistry with her. Like we said, she has great chemistry with everybody, but I love their chemistry. It's very sweet, but also very like raw at moments, especially the moment when she accidentally calls him her husband's name. It's like, oh no, I'm Justin, I'm not Bill. I'm like, oh, that cuts deep. Like 2 Weeks Notice, I love the soundtrack of this movie. This is a soundtrack I actually own. I like it so much. So a lot of people think of the song To Make You Feel My Love as an Adele song, but I'm like, she's not the first one who sang this song. No, Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood both sing this song in this movie. Both versions are beautiful. I think I like the Garth Brooks a little bit more, but they're both great. But other great songs in the soundtrack, Bryan Adams, Bob Seger and Martina McBride have a beautiful song. I love it. So there was a few scenes. So you've seen this movie, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Many times.
There are a few scenes I want to talk about specifically. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, Sandra Bullock plays she's a recently divorced mother. Her daughter's, she's probably like, I want to say like 9 years old, something like that. And she goes back home to live with her mother in Texas. And she hadn't been back. I think she hadn't been back home since she got married. And she was like the queen bee back in high school. And so her husband sadly leaves her for her best friend. And the tragic part is that all this happened on a talk show. And she thought she was there for a free makeover, and then she finds out that her husband's been having an affair with her best friend. And I'm like, this is so cruel. And it's like her best friend is like so full of it. It's like, I want her to hear my story. I'm like, you do? This is the way to do it? And you just humiliate her. And when they cut to their daughter, it's just bawling in the audience. I'm like, this poor baby, look what you've done to this poor child. So I feel like the main part of this movie is her and her daughter dealing with the fallout of her marriage, and then like trying to open herself up again to Harry Connick Jr.'s character, and then dealing with her mother, who's difficult. They love each other, but there's always tension there. And then her father, bless his heart, has Alzheimer's, so doesn't really recognize her. And the scene that just makes me cry to no end is when she goes to visit her father, and he has a picture, and he goes, "This is my daughter Birdie," and it's actually a picture of her daughter. So it's like that's actually his granddaughter. He's like, "This is my daughter Birdie." I'm like, oh. So obviously they really look alike, and then when he holds out his arms to dance with her, I'm like, oh God. Especially if you're I'm really close with my father, so yeah. I imagine if I was in that situation, I'm just like, oh. And then the scene where she's yelling at her daughter. She's like, "What did you say to your father on the phone?" And she's like, "I just said you were sad." And she grabs her arm really tight. And then afterwards, she's just like, "Did I hurt you?" And it's like, "I wouldn't hurt you for anything." She was just angry. And what's funny is she has this, like, she fights with her daughter, but then when the Jenna Rollins comes in, she's like, "Don't yell at her." she's like simultaneously protective of her mom and mad at her, which is just like such an interesting thing to play on screen. Very real.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Sandra Bullock is like, she went out to the bar drinking, and then she's like crying in the toilet, and her mom's trying to console her, and she just breaks down. It's just like she misses her husband and the way he was, and she feels like her daughter's pulling away from her, and she's like, I don't want that to happen, because you could feel like she's talking about her and her mother's relationship too. Like, she's like, I didn't want to just let the father be the loving person. And it's like the subtext there is that the mother wasn't the most loving with her. And she's like, she doesn't want to continue that cycle. And oh, that just gets to me. And then I love all the scenes with her and Harry Connick. Very, very sweet. The end is so romantic. When he's standing there by the truck with the flowers and they drive off. Oh man, this is the best. It's a beautiful film that I feel like people need to give a chance if they haven't seen it. What was the other thing? I looked at do you ever read IMDb trivia?
Yes, I love IMDb trivia.
So, the scene when the father comes back and Mayweather's trying to leave with him, and she's like, you want me.
Yep.
And he's like, and he leaves, and she's just bawling, crying. And I'm like, God, this kid, I'm like, God, the acting on this kid is phenomenal. And two, so in the script, it said that Sandra Bullock wasn't supposed to come and pick her up. But she just couldn't stand to hear her wailing. So she's like, she stays in character. She's very stoic when she goes and picks her up. She stays in character, but she couldn't take it. And I'm like, that's just amazing. I'm like, I can understand, like, if you hear this child just crying, you want to go and comfort her, but she's like, I don't want to. It's not right for the character yet to do that. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go pick her up like a mother would. And that's amazing. And then just a couple things with Harry Connick, because I love him. There is a scene, I think it's at the funeral for her mother. And Harry Connick comes in, and their little nephew is sitting outside, that sweet little boy. And does he bring a telegram for him? I think so. There's something where his mother, the mother is saying she's not gonna like come get him, basically. And she's just wondering. He's like, "Why are you sitting out here?" He's like, "I'm wondering if my Aunt Bertie will want me." I'm like, "Oh." And then he's like, "Aren't you gonna go?" He's asking Harry Connick, "Aren't you gonna go inside?" It's like, "Well, don't you know I came over here to say hi to you?" He's like, "Hi." I'm like, "Oh my God."
So good.
So sweet. And then the other part I love, it's something me and my mom love to quote all the time, where Mae Whitman's basically, she's asserting her like dominance and basically, don't you come near my mother. So Harry Connick's name in the movie is Justin Matisse. And she's like, I've seen this movie a lot, so I have the whole like thing memorized. She's like, back home we had a pet skunk. Mom called him Justin Matisse. Every day she would go say, "You stink, Justin Matisse." Finally, one day she just picked up a club and killed it. And he's like, "Well, that's a sad story. If you like the skunk, which we didn't." Hilarious. And he plays it so well. I love this movie. But that's a funny part. But I just love everything about it. So what are your thoughts?
It's such a good movie. And I think you're right in the fact that it was sort of mismarketed. Because I remember the first time I saw it, thinking that I was going to be seeing a rom-com. And I
Yeah.
remember being like, wow, this is heavy. Like,
Yeah.
this is very much like a family drama kind
Yeah.
of movie. But then being so impressed with it that it really doesn't matter if it's
Yeah.
the movie you were expecting or the movie that you're watching. If it's a good movie, it'll draw you in no matter what.
Mhm.
And it is, like you said, the cast is just like all 3 generations of women in that
Yeah.
movie are so good. And it is really one of the best child acting performances, I feel
Mhm.
like, because it's so real. Like that
Yeah.
scene you were referencing where she's just sobbing, and you just it makes sense that Sandra Bullock would want to come and pick her up because it's so sad, because it's
Mhm.
coming from this place that feels really real, and that's not
Yeah.
always something you get with child actors.
Mhm.
Um, and also, I would like to second your crush on Harry Connick Jr. and this movie being the thing that spearheaded it,
Yeah.
because I also had, Christmas music CDs and things like that. But this movie, I just remember being like, oh, wow, he looks like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like
He's handsome.
he is so handsome. And like you said, I wish he would, be on screen even more. I love him in the weird little revival of South Pacific that they did where he's in that. I
Oh, I haven't seen that. I need to
that
see
is
that.
it is not he's the best part of it. I will say that. Um, but he is so magnetic on screen, and the two of them have some of the best chemistry she has with her co-stars. Like,
Mhm.
it is so good. And also, I would like to second your love for the soundtrack,
Yeah.
because I I grew up in a dance studio, and back in the day before there were iPods, you just put in a lot of times we would listen to soundtracks, because then you weren't
Mhm.
making the dancers listen to the same artist a million times. So the
Okay.
Home Alone soundtrack was on repeat in
Aw,
my ballet class back
I
in the
love
day.
that.
I remember, and the Garth Brooks version of "To Make You Feel My Love" is one of my favorite recordings of a love song of all time. I think it
Mhm.
is so beautiful. And like you said, obviously most people know it as an Adele song, but to me, it's a Garth Brooks song.
Yeah.
Like, that is where I first discovered it and fell in love with that song, and it is so perfectly used.
Mhm.
It's a fantastic soundtrack. So if people have not actually taken the time to listen to it, I'm sure it is on Spotify and or Apple Music somewhere. Listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah, for sure. One other thing I just wanna note, a cool directing, thing they do is there are a couple scenes where they sort of mirror the 3 generations
Mhm.
of the women. So, there's a scene where, Sandra Bullock is just sitting and just thinking, and you see, like, her daughter's face, like, it
Mhm.
superimposed, like, over on
Yeah.
top of it,
Mhm.
and, uh, and then early in the movie, Sandra Bullock is looking out at her mother, like, in the water, like, she's feeding is she feeding the fish? She's doing
Mhm.
something, and the
Mhm.
dog comes, and she's like, bad dog," and then later in the movie, Mae Whitman is looking at Sandra Bullock doing the exact same thing.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's a great
Yeah.
choice.
It's
Just a
so
just a
smart.
visual thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very so lovely. Yeah, great movie. If people haven't seen Hope Floats, go watch it. It's
Mhm.
great. Yeah. And pick up the soundtrack. It's
Yes.
wonderful. Great music. Uh I feel like it's like a combo of like country and pop sort of
Mhm.
feel for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful songs. So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is The Proposal, which is one of my favorite rom-coms of all time. It is a very classic, enemies always feels like too strong of a word, but people who dislike each other strongly
Yeah.
to friends to lovers story. I think that Ryan Reynolds is one of her best bantering partners in any movie. It is a true comfort movie of mine. Really, the last three that I'm going to talk about. Sandra Bullock is kind of like the queen of my comfort movies, but this was a movie that I distinctly remember being on, like either FX or USA or one of those very often in the early days of the pandemic. And I just remember being like, I will watch this constantly because it is my happy place. So I think that her and Ryan Reynolds have incredible chemistry. I also love the dynamic that she has with Betty White's character in this movie, because you can feel in their dynamic in the movie the respect that Sandra Bullock has for Betty White as an actress. Like, it really comes through in that performance. And also sort of the mutual sense of that. You can feel that Betty White is almost in some ways like passing a torch to a fellow comedian. Like, the scene, I mean, everyone, if so many people talk about, you know, the scene in the woods where she's chanting to get low, which is, you know, hilarious. But my favorite scene between the two of them is the scene where she's fitting her for her wedding dress and he gives her the necklace. And it is this beautiful moment of, again, it's just such a theme in Sandra Bullock movies of found family and this person who was alone and in a lot of ways was using her career, her attitude, putting up armor to mask the fact that she was alone and was lonely. And now she feels what it's like to be a part of something and to be a part of a family and to be welcomed into this family. And I love that we get to see her character wrestle with that and sort of try to keep it at a distance at first in very comedic ways. I love the scene where they're, you know, at the strip club. I love the scene where, you know, she has to try to get her cell phone back, so she's offering up the dog in order to get her cell phone back. But then there's also these moments where she discovers what it's like to be part of a family, and it's a dysfunctional family. I love that it's not a perfect family, like that there are issues between father and son, and that in a way makes there issues between husband and wife, and it's not a perfect family that she's being welcomed into, which makes it feel more real. It makes it feel not like she's aspiring to be part of this, you know, like Brady Bunch cookie cutter perfect family. It's just seeing people care that much about each other makes her open up in ways. And one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when she's finally sort of opening up to Ryan Reynolds' character, and she's talking about, you know, the first concert that she's ever been to, and she's talking about where her tattoos come from, and you learn that her parents died, and it's just such a beautiful moment. And it's one of those, like, a romantic movie trope that I will always love is two people who are separated by something but talking to each other and sort of emotionally getting deeper with each other, and they're, you know, one person's on the floor, one person's in the bed, and they're talking and they're not looking at each other, but this something is changing and something's developing. And it's such a beautiful scene because, again, she brings this vulnerability to it and this openness to it, and it's watching this person who has put all this armor around herself start to slowly peel it back. And I love those kinds of stories. Also, it has one of my favorite Sandra Bullock wardrobes. Her wardrobe is killer in this movie. Her heels and her pencil skirts and her work wardrobe is a true favorite of mine. And as someone who currently works in the publishing industry, she is definitely someone who, because obviously the main crux of it is she is, you know, a big wig at a publishing company. He is her assistant. She is who I always try to channel on days when I need to be like a tough professional person. I'm like, be Margaret Tate, like bring that energy to it. Which is great because she plays both sides of the character so well. That sort of like really tough boss lady, and then this woman who's opening up and learning how to be loved not just by this man but also by parts of his family. And it's such a good movie. All of the actors in it are fantastic. I It's not a scene that Sandra Bullock is in, but the scene in the plane where they think Betty White's character is dying, and then she's like, "Well, I guess the ancestors aren't ready for me," because she just her son and her grandson to make up. It's so good. But yeah, it is just, to me, it is one of the best rom-coms in sort of the more recent slate of rom-coms. I feel like there haven't been that many really since this movie came out. And I absolutely love it. It is one that I go back to time and time again. It's so fun.
Yeah. Okay, so even though The Proposal didn't make my list, I love the movie. It's one of my favorite rom-coms too. So funny, very sweet. I echo everything you said. This is my favorite Ryan Reynolds movie, Ryan Reynolds performance for sure. I think it's the best chemistry he has with anyone. Yeah, I love that moment where you were talking about where she's in the bed and he's on the floor and she's finally opening up and they start singing that one song. That's adorable.
Yep, they're rapping It Takes Two. It's so good.
And you're right. I like that it's not a perfect family, very loving family, but not perfect. But that makes it realistic. And it's Mary Steenburgen and Craig T. Nelson, and they are just a cream of the crop, character actors. So good. When a movie like this is great, when not just the two leads are good, when everyone is good. And Betty White, national treasure.
Yep.
She was just the greatest. I loved her so much in everything she ever did, and that I do love that moment with the wedding dress. Well, one, it's funny where she's like, it's like an Easter egg hunt.
So good.
Like, oh, there they are. Okay. Cracks me up. And the thing with the dog. Oh my God. Like, oh my God, dog, don't be careful. And what is it, an eagle?
Yeah, like swoops down. It's so good.
It's hilarious. This little football. I'm like, oh no. And I'm trying to remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's a scene where they're like in town walking. And Ryan Reynolds does this natural thing where all of a sudden he comes around her, so he's on the outside of the street. And I'm like, I know that's just a little thing, but I love that because I'm like, that's a gentleman. That's a gentleman. And I'm like, any man watching, do that.
Do that, everyone.
Don't walk ahead.
Nope.
Don't let the girl be on the outside. Walk on the outside. I'm like, just because we're feminists and want equality doesn't mean we don't appreciate and like that. Because that we like a gentleman. At least I do. Yeah. Chivalry should not be dead at all. And what I like about this is I feel like they sort of flipped expectations in their roles. I feel like it maybe would have been Ryan Reynolds is the more
Mm-hmm.
closed off, hard-headed person, and she's the one that's a little bit more open.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that they flipped that dynamic. That makes it fresh, well, for the actors,
Mm-hmm.
and two, for the audience. And I really love that, for sure. Would you agree with that?
Oh, totally. I feel like it's such a nice dynamic shift, and it makes sort of the journey that they go on more interesting, because it's not where your expectations are for it.
Yeah.
And I do think that she's kind of the perfect person to play that part,
Mhm.
because she's not going to play it as like this complete robot. Like, she's going to find
Yeah.
both the humor and the sort of humanity in that, and not just make it a stereotype.
And she just does things that are make the character so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they're in with the immigration person,
Yep.
and it's like, oh, we're going to Alaska, the way she says Alaska.
It's so
Hilarious.
it's so good. Or when
I feel
she's
like
trying to
it's
get
something
down.
we should do.
When she's trying to get down on one knee and she's in the pencil skirt, and just the
Yeah,
physical comedy of it. It's so good.
it's so good. And she does it like no one else. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's great. It's great. I love the proposal. Yeah, just because it didn't make my list doesn't mean I don't love it. For sure.
Exactly. She has too many good movies.
Yeah. So, okay, we have my number 3, and then our 1 and 2 are the same, just flip-flopped.
Yep.
Uh, so my number 3 is The Lake House from 2006. The other movie she made with Keanu Reeves,
Mm-hmm.
my favorite of the two. It's just, this movie is just, it's like magical.
Mm-hmm.
Utterly romantic, unabashedly so. They don't shy away from the romantic aspect of it. You know how some movies, it's like they just go all in with it. And I think it helps that it's a drama,
Mm-hmm.
with the romance aspect of it. And of course, it has a completely ridiculous plot, completely implausible. The time travel aspect of it, that they are living 2 years apart and communicate through a magical mailbox. I mean, yes, that's ridiculous, but you just go with it. You just go with the magic and the fantasy of it, and they sell it so well. I love how they accept it very quickly and are like, "Is this happening? I guess it is." And it gives it just this, like I said, this enchanting, magical quality. And I love the idea, kind of like Shop Around the Corner and You've Got Mail. I love the concept of watching people fall in love through letters, through the written word. I think that's so beautiful. Letter writing is a lost art. I mean, people used to write each other letters all the time, especially like during World War II, when soldiers were overseas, they would write constantly to each other. And sometimes it was people who didn't know each other that well. And then that's how they fell in love. And that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my grandparents, on my father's side, they would write letters back and forth when he was deployed. And that's a beautiful thing. But this does such a smart thing in that, like You've Got Mail, they do the voiceover of the
Mm-hmm.
letters, everything they're writing, and sometimes they put them in the same screen, side by
Mm-hmm.
side. So it's like you feel their chemistry even when they're not physically in the same scene. And it's so well done. It helps that it's the two of them, that they already knew they had chemistry from Speed. And then there's the behind the scenes thing where they both secretly had like crushes on each other back in the day. So they have this affection for each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes across on screen so beautifully. And yeah, this is one of my favorite Keanu Reeves roles for sure. He doesn't do movies like this often. And I'm like, you should. You're good at it. And I think this is the movie where he's the most handsome, honestly. I know he likes the long hair, but he looks so good with the shorter haircut and everything they have him wear. He just looks so like dashing and I'm like, and she's beautiful. You don't see her with short hair very often, and it suits her so well. She's so beautiful in this movie, and I love everything she wears, her cozy sweaters and everything. And yeah, I love the part where he's like, take a walk with me through Chicago. I want to share Chicago with you. And oh shoot, what is the name of I don't remember the name of is it Nick Drake? It's a song that plays during that scene that's really lovely.
Yeah, I can't remember it either, but I know what you're talking about.
And then I love the moment when so it handles time travel in an interesting way. Every movie handles time travel differently. I would say most of them do a thing like you've already created a loop even before it's happened, where it's like, oh, it was always you, even though before it's happened, which it's like that makes sense, but doesn't make sense. This one, I feel like it's that they don't do that. So I love the moment where she's standing in front of her apartment, and when it's in his time, it's not built yet, and he plants a tree, and then all of a sudden it's there for her. I'm like, it's just that I love that. I love that so much. And a shout out to the score of this movie. The composer is Rachel Portman. She's a wonderful composer. She's composed beautiful scores for many films. She did Emma and Nicholas Nickleby, Betty and June. She's a wonderful, wonderful composer. I think this might be my favorite of her scores. I listen to it a lot when I'm working. It's gorgeous, stunning. And then just the performances are so good, and I don't want to spoil the movie. It has a great like twist. I guess you call it a twist. And how they resolve everything. And I saw this in the theater, and then the moment when you realize the thing, and then the end. Oh, I was bawling, crying, and were you the same? I mean, you're just like,
yep.
Oh my God. Okay.
I too saw it in the theater, and the second you realize what is going on, it's like the waterworks just started. I just remember being there with like a group of my girlfriends when we were in high school, and just all of us weeping.
I saw it with my mom, and we're like, oh my God, you know. And it's a great movie to watch. Yeah, it's a great movie to watch with girlfriends or with your mom or someone, just people who love the romantic dramas. And and I love the way they tie in Jane Austen's Persuasion, the theme about waiting. If it's true love, you will wait no matter what for that person. And there's one line I want to point out. It's something her mother actually says to her. They're having lunch, and her mother is talking about like her first love. And she asked her, it's like, well, why didn't you marry him? And she says, so you and I could be sitting here having this conversation. I'm like, oh, that's powerful. I love this movie so much. Just the intense romance and drama and magical quality, and elevated, and it's sold by Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves for sure. And then shout out to I also think Sheree Agladashu is very good in this movie too. She's a wonderful actress, such a strong presence, and she has that wonderful voice. She has a great voice, and she's good in the movie too. But it's held together by Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves for sure. What do you have any other thoughts?
This is kind of like how you feel about The Proposal. Like, even though it's not on my list, does not mean I do not love this movie.
Yeah.
It, like you said, it's the sort of magical quality of it. It's the way that it's a time travel movie with these sort of magical, fantastical elements. However, it's grounded in this really, really beautiful romance, and that's what's
Yeah.
leading the whole thing. And like you said, the letter writing aspect of it allows these two characters to build this chemistry together without sharing scenes per se together. And it's so good. And the yearning of it all is
Yeah.
so good. As someone who loves a good yearn,
Yeah.
it was, I just remember, however old I was, 16-year-old me with my hands to my chest, just being
Yeah.
like what you were saying, that part where he's like, take a walk around Chicago with me, and you're like, oh, this is so romantic. Like, this is just really beautiful. And it's such a romantic movie in sort of every sense of the word. It just feels transportive, and
Yeah.
it's so lovely. And both of them are so fantastic in it. And yes, Keanu Reeves has never looked better. It is such a great movie, and I have not watched it in years now, and I feel like I need to go back and do that, because having a good cry is wonderful for everyone, and I feel like this is a good movie for that.
Yeah, I watched it a couple months ago, but it'd been a while. I knew it really well. There's a certain era of movies that I would buy DVDs, and I didn't. But it was the era like the early 2000s,
Yeah.
so I didn't have that many yet.
Mhm.
So I would watch like the same ones a lot, and I watched this one a
Mhm.
lot. So yeah, but I think because of that, I like went away from it for a while, and I'm like,
Mhm.
just as good, this time around, and just as beautiful and romantic, and
Oh, yeah, I will have
it's
to give it a rewatch very soon.
yeah, it's so good. Um, I bought what's the sad thing is, so there's like occasionally I have a few DVDs that like stopped working,
Mm.
and there is an era of particularly I heard Warner Brothers DVDs in this era, sometimes they stop working. It's like a flaw
Oh,
in
no.
these. So I had to rebuy it, but I upgraded to a Blu-ray and that won't it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Again, I bought it off eBay, good price,
Mhm.
wasn't expensive. So anyone who wants to buy the lake house, look on eBay. Um, so your number two is my number one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yes, my number 2 is While You Were Sleeping,
Mhm.
and the emotional, spiritual, intellectual turmoil I went through between picking my 1 and 2 for this.
Oh my God, yes.
I was like, I don't know exactly, but I this movie is such a warm hug of a movie.
Yeah.
It is probably my mother's favorite movie, so it is one that we rewatch often,
Oh,
and it is something that always makes me think of my mom in a very nice way, and I love watching it with her. Another, like, sort of random thing I always think about this movie is that it's one of those rare movies that's sort of set after Christmas. Like, it's like a good watch it, like, right after Christmas movie, not so
yeah.
much like an exactly Christmas movie. It has that spirit of the holidays without being about it, which makes
Mhm.
it fun to watch sort of all the time. But I remember we watched it on Christmas night last year, because we were like, "Oh, it's like a very good movie to sort
Aw.
of close out the
Yeah.
holidays." It was right after we had discovered that it was on Disney Plus, and that was very exciting. Because I'm pretty sure we only had it on VHS before that.
Oh, wow.
Um, and it is, to me, the pinnacle of 90s rom-coms.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I love a good rom-com that isn't just about the two leads falling in love with each other.
Mhm.
Like there's more love happening. There's something bigger happening. And it is once again a Sandra Bullock movie that is about her finding a family,
Yeah.
finding people. I mean, one of my absolute favorite parts in the movie is when she, says, I fell in love with you. And Saul is like, me? And she's like, no, all of you. Like, oh no, it wasn't Saul, it's the dad. It's like me. And she's like, all of you. And it is so perfect because you really do watch that happen. You watch her, because out of all the sort of more loner Sandra Bullock characters that she plays, because there are a few of them who don't really have families or, significant others or any of that. To me, Lucy is the softest and the most
Yeah.
vulnerable and the one you just want to wrap up in a hug all the time. I adore that character because I love the fact that she has had a challenging life. We know that about her. She's had a difficult life. She's faced a lot of loss, but she is still a very soft-hearted person. She is still someone who romanticizes going to Florence. She is still someone who is kind, and that is what draws this family to her. And that even when sort of the absolute ridiculousness of finding out that she was not actually engaged to their son, but that's why it's believable that they're not completely put off by it, because you come to learn that she is so good deep to her core that it's impossible for other people not to fall in love with her. And it
Yeah.
is such a charming performance. I think she's so wonderful in it. And I mean, we have to talk about how good her chemistry is with Bill Pullman. Like, oh, the heartthrob of all like 90s heartthrobs. The leaning scene is
Yeah.
so iconic. He is so romantic in this movie and
Mhm.
so good. And I mean, even Peter Gallagher playing the man that she was obsessed with, and through a comedy of errors, everyone comes to believe that she is engaged to.
Yeah.
He's so funny in it.
Mhm.
He is just so, it's such a fun, like silly part for him to get to play. And when he thinks he has amnesia and everyone thinks he has amnesia because he doesn't remember being engaged to her, it's just the most charming movie. And there's a little scene that gets me every time, and it's when they're having dinner and the family is just, everyone's talking over each
Yeah.
other about things
Yep.
that are completely disconnected, and people are chiming in the wrong pieces of conversations, and she's just sort of watching it all
Yeah.
happen, and you're watching her fall in love with this family and remember what it's like to be a part of a family. And as someone who is very close to her family and has that extended family that can be loud and everyone's talking over each other and everything
Yeah.
is kind of random, it felt so realistic, and so much of this movie feels realistic and warm, and it's it is very much the movie equivalent of the very cozy sweaters that she wears for much of the movie. Um,
Yes.
Again, with a killer wardrobe. She has those amazing oversized sweaters. It is such a good wardrobe for her. I really I love everything about this movie, but I think her vulnerability in it and her just sort of genuine sweetness that comes through, and not a like cloying over the top kind of
Mhm.
obnoxious way, but in a very grounded and real way, is my favorite thing about it, because it makes the whole movie feel like sweet and good, and
Mhm.
wholesome in the way that, you know, good 90s rom-coms tended to feel. But yeah, I love this movie, and you know, preparing for this, I watched it again. It's so wonderful. It is one of those where repeat viewings bring out different character beats that you know, maybe didn't notice the last time. It's such a delight.
Yeah, well, obviously I love it because I put it at number one. I mean,
Mhm.
I feel like my 1 and 2 are almost tied. I mean, it
Yes.
was so
Mhm.
difficult. Um, but this is just like it's like a perfect movie in my opinion. It's
Mhm.
just like a perfect rom-com, perfect 90s rom-com. Probably my third favorite romantic comedy ever.
Mhm.
Um, even though they're all so close together.
True.
My top 3. I feel like this is the movie that the world fell in love with Sandra Bullock.
Mhm.
And it helps the kind of character she plays because
Mhm.
Lucy is, yeah, like you said, she's so sweet. She's so relatable and likable. Um, a lot of people can probably see themselves in her. You know, this like you see some from afar and you like
Mhm.
them, but you're too shy to talk to them. And you know, a lot of people don't have family or friends.
Mhm.
Either they've passed on, or they don't live close by, or they're not
Mhm.
close to them. And especially during the holidays.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is a movie I like to watch during Christmas. That can be very, very difficult
Mhm.
time for people who are by themselves. And I consider myself so lucky to have a very wonderful, close, loving family like the Callahan family. My family is very much like them,
Mhm.
very loving and warm. I don't think we're quite as quirky and eccentric as they are, but we're Italian, so we're loud and talk over each other. So anyone who maybe like is too cynical to think that there can't be a family like that exists, that's not true.
Mhm.
Um, the fact that they only know her like what, like a day, and then they
Mhm.
invite her to Christmas, and they bought her a present
Mhm.
and got her a stocking in that short amount of time is so beautiful and lovely. And unlike my family would have done that.
Mhm.
So it's totally believable. And
Yeah.
you know, to all the cynics out there, it's like you just need to meet the right people, I think.
Mhm.
And I hope you do, because
Mhm.
everyone deserves that. I like you said, I love a movie where everyone is good.
Mhm.
And it's not just about the romance, it's also about the family. And of course they would fall in love with her, and of course she would fall in love with them because they are wonderful and they make me laugh so much.
Mhm.
All those actors are so great. Peter Boyle and Jack Warden and Glynis Johns and oh, I can't remember the other actress's name. Uh
Mm.
that plays the mother, but
Yeah.
she's so sweet and funny.
Mhm.
And then the daughter, uh I think my favorite scene of the movie is that dinner table scene.
Mhm.
I've seen this movie so many times. I mean, I can quote it.
Mhm.
I'm still cracking up listening to them talk. All these random things, you
Mhm.
know, talking about who so and so. John Wayne was tall. Dustin Hoffman was 5'6". Would you like to see Dustin Hoffman save the Alamo? And you know,
It's so
and the oh, every time we eat mashed potatoes, my mom and I, if we're eating
Mhm.
dinner, we go, these mashed potatoes are so creamy.
Mhm. Mhm. So
And then I can never make a good pot roast. You know, you need great beef. Argentina has great beef, beef and Nazis. I
yeah.
like Cesar Romero was tall. Cesar Romero was not Spanish. I didn't say he was Spanish. Well, what did you say? I said he was tall. We all know he's tall.
Mhm.
That and then the scene when they're all opening the Christmas gifts where they're all talking to each other.
Mhm.
She's doing the same thing. She's just watching them.
Mhm.
And feels so natural and real, you know. You know, he's like, "Who the hell is Uncle Al?" You know, "I don't know." And then she's like, "Oh, the gold watch." It's so adorable and so cute. It is like a warm hug, that
Mhm.
movie. And, um, yeah. And can we talk about the chemistry? Oh my God, with her and Bill Pullman. I have seen more than one and it made me so angry. I've seen more than one person like are they blind that complain about Bill Pullman like he's not a good leading man, and I'm like, are you crazy?
What?
I am like, what? Because he's like, I'm like, what does everyone have to be like uber like suave Brad Pitt, Matthew
Yeah, like
McConaughey type?
no.
No.
He
And
has
I'm
this
like,
vibe that's so good.
Bill Pullman, well, for one, Bill Pullman is still very handsome.
So handsome.
Especially in this movie.
Great hair.
He's more like Boy Next Door real, which honestly I find more attractive because it's more relatable, and that's the kind of person I would want to be with personally. So yeah, and the leaning.
So
Leaning's
good.
very different than hugging. And I love when he's like Joe Jr., who is so funny.
Love Joe Jr.
Like, probably bothering you loose. It looks like he's leaning. And he's like, thank you. Someone else understands it. And it's like, I know karate.
I love Joe Jr. When she's like, do you want to try on my shoes?
So funny. Are you trying on my shoes? And I'm like, he's so ridiculous. And she's so sweet with him, though. It's like, it's like, how's it going with, Miss Third Floor? And he starts crying. Oh, do you have any cookies? Oh, come on. We'll try on some of my shoes.
It's so good.
It's hilarious. Yeah, it's just so delightful. Oh my God. I've seen it. I don't even know how many times I've seen it. I didn't see it in the movie theater. But we bought like the VHS tape of it. So, and then we got the DVD. So I've seen it. I always watch it at Christmas. So however many years it's been since 1995, I don't know. 30 years.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Probably even more because I feel like I would watch it sometimes not at Christmas.
Yeah.
Because it's a good anytime kind of movie. Just the other thing I love about Bill Pullman's character is, again, like Ryan Reynolds in The Proposal, he's a true gentleman, and men take note. He listens to everything she says. So when he buys her this snow globe with Florence in it, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. I'm like, he's taking what she says to heart and thinking of it. It's very thoughtful. And that's a beautiful thing. And of course, at the end, it's like, he took me to Florence for my honeymoon. But almost, I feel like this even is more special. This little snow globe, I feel like is even more special because it's simple and it just shows how much he not only is listening to her, he can sense how much it means to her. And that's just a beautiful moment. And the natural chemistry, the natural humor, like in that scene when she has the dress around her with the hanger.
Yep.
And so he's like, oh, that's the dress. It works good as a tie too.
So great.
It's such a great script. I wonder how much is like scripted and how much is improv. I don't know. But whatever it is, it all works. And then, so I didn't write anything with Peter Gallagher, but you're right. He's very funny. And I are in the hospital. It's like, you're engaged to who? To Lucy? Who's Lucy? And then the orderly comes, oh, got some nice Jello. Do I like Jello? And she's like, yummy. Do I like Jello?
He plays deer in the headlights so well.
It's so funny. And then he starts doing the alphabet.
Yep.
Like, I remember the alphabet. Hilarious. And the girl that he was like dating.
Yep.
She's great too. She has this frantic energy. Is her name Allie Walker? Is I think her name. She's great. If you've never, she is another Christmas movie that's like a forgotten TV Christmas movie that is so good. You might be able to find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's so cute. It's called If You Believe.
Oh.
And it's a thing where she gets hit on the head, but instead of getting amnesia, her younger self appears to her.
Oh, wow.
Played by Hayden Panettiere, really, really young. It's adorable. It's a really cute movie. You might be able to find it on YouTube or Tubi or something like that. Super cute. But yeah, While You Were Sleeping, the best movie ever. I mean, it's the best romantic comedy. I mean, like I said, my top 3 rom-coms ever are You've Got Mail, The Holiday, and While You Were Sleeping.
Excellent.
So, I mean, I order them in that order, but they're almost even. I mean, I love them also. So we're on to your number 1, which was my number 2.
It is Miss Congeniality. I feel like I have a special spot in my heart because this was the first movie that I saw in theaters without my parents. Like when your parents drop you off and you go with your friends. This was that first movie where it just brings me back to nostalgia of being like a preteen and feeling like that first little bit of independence. But beyond that, it's such a sort of definitive example of what I like to call the sort of girl power movies of the like late 90s, early 2000s, where there is a romantic element to it, but it is more about the lead female characters' sort of growth and arc and story and what they learn about themselves. I always think like Legally Blonde is such a great example of the genre. And then this is sort of the other fantastic example of this genre. Because obviously her chemistry with Benjamin Bratt is wonderful in this movie, but that's very much a secondary part of it. And I really enjoy that it is a movie about coming to discover that being stereotypically feminine or stereotypically girly is not a bad thing. And that maybe being that woman who is, you know, I'm not like other girls isn't necessarily the way to be. Maybe you just haven't met the right group of other girls who are going to show you that what really matters is sisterhood and taking care of each other and showing up with hot chocolate, even if it's non-fat, and talking, and then going out for pizza and dancing. And it's such a great movie about friendship because, again, it's Sandra Bullock's character kind of playing this more closed off person and someone who doesn't necessarily have a lot of strong relationships in her life. And it's about her developing those relationships, and most of them are friendships, whether it's with the other, you know, girls in the Miss United States pageant, or if it's with Michael Caine, who's her pageant coach. And that to me is one of my all-time favorite Sandra Bullock relationships on screen. Is, you know, Gracie Lou Freebush, and it's just, and Michael Caine, and it is so well done. It is such a great example of people who learn things from each other and a really good kind of stand-in, maybe snarky father-daughter-esque relationship, mentor-mentee, but two people who are both very kind of caustic and good at pushing people away, sort of forging this relationship where they come to actually really respect each other because they see that the other person brings things of value. Whereas when they first sort of met each other, he thought that she was, you know, a sloppy mess, and she thought that he was this, you know, very, you know, high maintenance person. And instead they learn from each other that each of them is a worthy person bringing whatever they bring to the table.
Yeah.
And I just, I think it is such a great story because it does have that really awesome through line of learning to accept all kinds of women around you. And like this scene where she is trying to get ready by herself and she's like, which one of
Yeah.
these is the lipstick? And they all kind of run around and they help her, and they're in a competition, but there's no actual competition, which I love. I love that it's that there's no catty sort of
Yeah.
infighting, that it's this really supportive group of women. Because I don't know if you feel that way, but like in my life, it's far more examples of women supporting other women and communities of women supporting other women than it is the sort of stereotypical cattiness. So I'm always drawn to those kinds of examples in media. So it's like, no, but that's the way it actually is most of the time, is that women are supportive of each other and we want to help each other. And this movie is such a good example of that. And I also, I mean, it is such a funny movie. To me, this is one of Sandra Bullock's best like physical comedian performances. I always think of the scene where she is trying to learn the dance and she's like 2 counts behind everyone. And it's so perfect. It's one of my favorite like people who can't dance try to dance scenes, right up there with I Love Lucy when Lucy is trying to dance in the Vegas showgirl headpiece. This is up there. And it is so funny. I think about it probably too much, and it just makes me laugh think about it out of the blue. It is, every person in that cast is funny. Candice Bergen is so funny and so good. And William Shatner is hilarious in it when he's like, I don't own a gun. My parents were Quakers. Like it's so funny. And his like little aside deliveries of things are so funny. All of the other women in the pageant are so funny. Like the entire scene where, you know, Cheryl is telling her about how she stole brown underwear from the department store, and it's just it's so good. Or anytime I use the word ostentatious, I just want to quote this movie and say like she doesn't like anything ostentatious, and she really doesn't like fire.
Like fire.
Like I just think of it, and then she pulls out the flaming batons at the end, and it's so good. It is just, it has one of my favorite like wrap up end scenes when she is at the breakfast and they bring her in and she wins Miss Congeniality, and you get to see, I mean, first of all, it's hilarious because Miss Texas has the like thing across her nose from when she gets hit. But when Sandra Bullock's character is like, and I really do want world peace, it's so sweet because you're like, oh, like there it is in a very funny line, sort of summing up her entire character's journey from like making fun of these women to seeing that there's so much more to them than the stereotypes. And I think in a lot of ways, this movie is maybe deeper than it gets credit for being, because it is a really feminist in the best sense of the word kind of movie, because it's about women supporting each other, and it's about all these different kinds of women of different races and backgrounds, and I mean, heck, sexual orientations. Like it's so cool, and I loved that we got that kind of movie when it came out. Like having a movie at the very early 2000s that was about this, especially hitting like me personally right at that like puberty time, was so great. It was like, look at this, like you don't have to be in competition with the girls around you. Like, you don't have to be fighting with each other for boys or whatever. Like, you get to be supportive of each other. And also, you get to have a romantic happy ending too. Like, she doesn't have to give that up either. Like, she gets the guy too. Like,
Mhm.
it's a really awesome thing. It's like she has professional success, she makes friends, and she gets the guy. Like, it's like you don't necessarily have to give up one just to be strong
Mhm.
or successful. And I I love all of the sort of thematic things that come out in this movie, in addition to it being just really, really funny.
Yeah. So as you're saying this, it's so funny because so many of the things you said are things I wrote down.
Love that.
Uh, it just shows what an amazing movie it is, and it's easy to be in the same wavelength with someone who also loves this movie
Mhm,
because everything they present, they do it so well.
mhm,
So I think this is probably her most iconic
mm,
movie, most iconic role. It's probably the most famous one. I mean, it's the only one I could think of where people are dressing up for Halloween
mhm,
and like the Miss United States thing and doing the dance. I saw
mhm.
this thing, there was like this huge choreographed dance
I
in New
saw that
York.
too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm
It
like,
was like
this
a
is
flash mob.
so awesome. It's so funny. Yeah, it's like it's funny, but it's inspiring and
Mhm,
sweet and amazing cast. I mean, like probably I think it's probably my favorite Michael Caine
mhm.
performance. I love him in this movie. He's so funny. Yeah, Candace Bergen is great. Benjamin Bratt, Ernie Hudson is good. And Shatner. Oh my god. I don't have a gun. My ancestors were Quakers.
So good.
Oh, he's so funny. Okay, I want to go through everything I wrote down.
Mhm,
It's interesting how, as iconic as Sandra Bullock is, it's funny how probably the most iconic line isn't hers.
mm.
It's Heather Burns on stage with Shatner, and he's going, "Describe your perfect
Yep.
date." I had to say April 25th because
Mhm.
it's not too hot and it's not too cold. All you need is a light jacket. And I love how April 25th is now, for at
Mhm.
least for people who love this movie, is described as the perfect date.
Yep.
And there have been years where I've watched Miss Congeniality on April
Mhm.
25th, kind of like October 3rd is like Mean Girls
Yeah.
Day. April 25th, it's Miss Congeniality Day.
Mhm.
Yeah, the comedy is so funny. It's like there's wittiness, there's physical comedy from everybody. And yeah, it's Sandra Bullock's most probably her I would say it's probably her funniest performance. It's definitely one of the most physical.
Mhm.
Uh, her with the water glasses and that outfit with the bell, hilarious, and then she jumps off the stage,
Mhm.
and her reasoning behind it because she. Well,
Mhm.
as everyone's become too dependent on tobacco. So I think that gentlemen will think twice about lighting up.
It's so good.
Um, and then her when she has to improvise, and then she does the sing,
Yep.
with Benjamin Bratt, and
Mhm.
he's so tentative because he knows what's coming.
Mhm.
Like, oh, the poor guy, because she
Yep.
doesn't hold back at all. It's hilarious.
Mhm.
Um, there are so many things. There's like so many like things you can quote
Mhm.
from this movie that are so funny, like just throwaway lines almost that I love to do, to quote so much. What did I write down? Oh, two of them alone are when they're at that like welcome brunch
Mhm.
with all the girls and they're sitting down, and she asks the Miss Hawaii. She's like, "Question: Don't you use aloha for hello and goodbye?"
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you're on the phone, then they won't stop talking, saying, "Okay, take care, aloha." Don't they just start all over again? Another bird starts cracking up. She's like, "She thinks I'm funny."
Mhm.
And Miss Hawaii and Miss New York, they're back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
That's antagonistic. It's so funny. She's like,
So good.
"You're a Dono."
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing, when they're talking about William Shatner,
Mm-hmm.
hold on, it's my camera doing that weird thing. Hold on. William Shatner is talking about that he's leaving the pageant, and Miss Texas is like, "Oh, they're firing him, going for someone newer and younger. I hope it's Ricky Martin." I'm like, I've seen this movie a lot, so I know all the things, but
Yep.
I literally, but that's the funny thing. I literally wrote down that I love the themes and that it's a little bit like Legally Blonde.
I love that.
Literally wrote the same thing, that you don't have to downplay your femininity or anything in order to be strong and intelligent. It's like women are full beings, you know. If you're not a feminine person, that's fine. But being that way doesn't mean you're stupid or weak or any of these things. If you like girly things and want to dress up, doesn't mean you're not tough too. And I love how this movie showcases that and how she learns that through the course of the movie. So I love how she learns that, but she also helps the girls too, you know, because they were, I don't want to say they were prim and proper, but they were like afraid to let loose. And she like, they obviously had it in them to do it.
Yeah.
And she, like, her presence allowed them to like break free and have fun. I love the scene when they go out eating pizza and are dancing with all the paint and having the shots, and she's like, "I can't have another one." "Yes, you can. Go ahead. Just." And they obviously they just needed like a big sister or something to show them that it's okay to let loose too. It doesn't mean you're not pageant material or something. And like you said, I love the moment where she doesn't know what to do and they all help her. Yeah, there's no competition. And when they're all in the pageant and they say Gracie, and she got there on her own. You know, this was at the point where it wasn't fixed anymore. And I think, is it Miss Hawaii? She goes, "Gracie, it's you, go."
Yeah. Yep.
And that's so sweet. And it's like they're just happy for her.
Yeah.
And that's a great moment. And it's about, yeah, respecting each other and whatever they like to do. And yeah, I love the end where she's like, "I really do want world peace." Because who doesn't want world peace?
Exactly.
But when she's on stage, it's so funny when it's like before she actually says world peace, like everyone's like, what is the one thing our society needs? That would be harsher punishment for parole violators. And
world peace.
And then the other part where they're answering questions and she's like, you know, we've all become such good friends. And if anyone tries to hurt one of them, I would take them out. And Shatner was like smiling, like, I don't know what to do here.
It's so good. He just like stares at the camera, like
it's so funny. And then I love the moment where Michael Caine is like, it gives her the dress, and it's like, if I had a daughter, she would be like you, which is why I probably never reproduced. I'm like, he had to do that dig in there. But oh my god, he's so funny in this movie. When she's trying to say, you know, it's the crown, he's like, yes, you can taste it, can't you?
Yeah.
Like, be the crown, wear the crown, you are the crown. Like, no, she's trying to tell you something important. Oh my god, this movie's so good. And I know I get a little peeved when people go, "Oh, this hasn't aged well." I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
There's plenty of other movies that have aged way worse.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the men are a little bit like, I guess a little bit chauvinistic, or like, I'm not chauvinistic. What would you call it? the way they're all kind of like, oh, look at all them,
Oh,
you know.
yeah. Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
don't like that. I don't know. It's not that.
Exactly. It's like to some extent that is
It's
realistic. Like,
realistic, and I love Benjamin Bratt, you know, when he's like, "Come on, show some
mhm.
respect here," you know.
Yeah.
And so, great movie,
Mhm.
iconic. Like I said, probably the most iconic Sandra Bullock movie for sure. I'm so glad it's your number one. I mean, While You Were Sleeping and Miss Congeniality, basically tied for first.
Exactly. Mhm.
Um, but why don't we recap our top
Mhm.
5 for everyone listening? So you can go
Okay.
ahead with
Great.
your
My top 5 are number 5 is Ocean's 8. Number 4 is The Heat. Number 3 is The Proposal. Number 2 is While You Were Sleeping, and number 1 is Miss Congeniality.
Okay. My number 5 is The Net. Number 4, Hope Floats. Number 3, The Lake House. Number 2, Miss Congeniality. And number 1, While You Were Sleeping. So, thank you for being my guest.
Thank you so much for having me. This is great.
This was so much fun.
It was.
You're going to be back again. I don't know when yet. Was it Julia Roberts?
Yes, I'm going to be back to talk about more, queens of
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yes. I would say Sandra Bullock, Julia Roberts, and Meg Ryan were like
Mhm.
the 3 actresses in like my formative years.
Yep.
Where they were it for me,
Mhm.
basically.
Oh, yeah.
So that will be another good one. Sometime in the new year, we'll get to that
Awesome.
one. But I hope everyone enjoyed watching or listening to this wherever you're checking out this. I hope everyone has a beautiful, beautiful day. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.